ought not to listen to Gen X talks. You just a boy. right, so just relax. Calm your dicks and tits, right? Just relax. Hang on. Hold on a second there. Hold up on that car wash there, boy. It's the Bottom of the Glass Nation show. Yeah, look at that. We're starting 3 minutes early. You know why? Because you're whining about the intro. I know about the intro. The intro is too long. I got it. I know. It was an attempt. It's in progress. It's a work in progress. You know what? You don't look so good either at 6 o'clock in the morning. You are a work in progress too. You don't want to be judged. Neither does this poor little intro. Not so little. But there's some good stuff in there, though, wasn't there? Welcome to the Bottom of Glass Nation. It's the bottom of the bottle nation tonight. I'm going to drink this. I need to drink this. We have so many personal things to talk about. I don't know if we're going to get to anything out there in the world today. It's all in-house. Yeah, it's going to feel a little bit like the podcast. We have my lovely bride is sitting over here. She will not allow the camera to come on, which is good because she looks like a cross between Pebbles, little baby Pebbles from the Flintstones, and I'm going to say Ethel Mertz from I Love Lucy. So we'll just keep the camera off.
It's been a busy day.
It's been a stupid day is what it was. We'll get to that in a minute, but I think we should all start by drinking. I do not have a shot glass. Whoa, yes I do. Can you imagine me just drinking that thing like in the old school days? You just whoop, boom. Remember that? You just got to whoop. When I pass the bottle around back at parties and stuff. Don't think I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to share very well. I do have a problem sharing. But all right, welcome to the Bottom of Glass Nation. I do have a shot glass. It is empty. I'm going to add a little hooch to it right now. I'm probably going to need more hooch before the day is done. But I'm going to raise this to you guys right now. It is Tuesday. It is coming up on 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock Los Angeles time. Welcome to the Bottom of the Glass Nation show, to the dumbest mechanic in the middle of the desert. I am your host as such, and we will continue to drink and lie and believe the lies for the next hour. Thank you for joining us. Have a drink right now.
All right. So, you going to talk about Sammy Joe's birthday
Hold
yesterday?
on. I want to see which one of my friends were drinking with me. Mary Mistretta, Katrina Dvorak, Shannon Dowdy. There she goes. I had a few in there. Sweets threw in a few beers. All right, Vern, King Wisenoak.
Would you say happy birthday to Sammy? Nicely.
Happy birthday, Sammy.
Oh, yeah, that was exciting.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Sammy Joe. Happy birthday to you.
Wow.
Are we good?
Wow, that was...
I don't know how old she is. I asked her to do... I don't understand why she's not at my beck and call. I texted her today, and she didn't immediately respond. It's like for some reason she wasn't just sitting there waiting for me to text. I don't understand what's going on around here.
She does have a job.
She was swimming with her son. She was swimming.
Important.
I said, hey, are you around? She goes, yes, I'm swimming. And then I texted again and she didn't text back for like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, let me guess. Still swimming. Then she says, okay, I'll do what you want. Let me dry off. Let me go. It was like 45 minutes later. I mean, she dried off, then she got on some sweats, then she checked on her son, then she got a snack. She ordered a pizza. She put on her sunglasses because it's bright outside. It's almost like she's pretending to have a life outside of Gen X Talks. I don't understand it. So Sammy
And it
Joe,
was her birthday, so wasn't she gone yesterday too or something?
Well,
she worked
what?
yesterday.
So how old is she? Like 26?
31? Trippy, how old is she?
She's not. Sammy Joe's not 31.
Yeah, she hit 30 last year, I believe.
No, she's like 26 or something. 27. 27 is the outside number.
Trip, how old is she?
I'm just saying that was mine too. But Sammy Joe's on staff. You guys know who she is. For all of you on Facebook, there's Facebook Blue and there's Facebook Personal. Your personal moderator is Sammy Joe. She's the one bouncing around there with the name Sammy Joe. When you see the name Sammy Joe, that's her. And then she just had the birthday. You can say happy birthday to her.
Trip says 31. I was right.
What does Trip know? Come on. What does Trippy know? How was he going to know that? He didn't know. I don't know how old you are. How old are you? I don't know. It doesn't matter. All right.
I'm right. You're wrong.
Here we go again. All right. So, I went to type a number in the chat. I went to type like 27 or 30. I was going to type how old she was in the chat for the stream. Grammarly is correcting me. Now, how can Grammarly correct a number? It's like if you spell something wrong, Grammarly goes, hey, you fucking spelled that wrong. I got it. Then you go back and argue with it if that's what you want to say or not want to say. But when I start...
Finish the sentence.
When I start putting up a number, when I start typing in, I'm going to write 20, she's 27, and as soon as I hit the 2, Grammarly pops up like, dude, no. Like, how would it know how old of the Sammy is? Grammarly doesn't know.
I don't know.
Grammarly's not Google. Anyway, so obviously when I look off to this side where my wife is, I'm not ignoring you. Fine, I'm looking at her. Now I'm looking at you. Now I'm looking at her. And that's the way the story's going to go for the rest of the night. All right.
Shannon Burgode, member for 9 months. Handsome general and sexy Gen X mom. She's just
That is such
in.
bullshit. I should get both. You're not even on camera today. And they're still giving you prize names like
Of
sexy
course.
and stuff. That's bullshit. But I guess, Farrah Fawcett was sexy whether she was on screen or not. Was that not the case? Yeah, because she was on my notebook when I was in junior high. So that was a good thing. All right. So we just got through Father's Day. Everyone knows Father's Day is a couple days ago. That was Sunday. And I would normally, you start off Father's Day, what do we always complain about as father? Oh, great. You're going to give me socks. You're going to give me underwear. I'm going to get boxer shorts as my gifts. And so for years and years and years, we like, older dad's got a tie. You're going to give me a tie. And all these silly things that they get us that we golf tees, and stuff like that for the golfers. And so that was like a big thing for a long time. And rightly so, you could complain. Until Sunday when I got no presents. I do apologize.
Lie.
One child gave me presents. One. I've raised 32 kids. I have this last batch of 8. One. All the other ones did oh, hey, Dad, I'll text you Happy Father's Day, and or I'll call you Happy Father's Day.
I got one present, too, on Mother's Day.
Okay, well, we're talking about me right now. We're not talking about you. We're talking about the Jefe, El Presidente. Account for something around here, goddammit. I fed and clothed those little assholes, all my little tax deductions for a lot of years. One present. And there was even some kids that didn't even call. Didn't even call. No. Now, I don't know whether that says something about me as a father or them as a kid, or maybe it's how I raised them. I don't know. But I guarantee, when they'll come around, do you know when all of my 8 children will be around? Yeah. At the reading of the will. That's when they'll be back around. No Father's Day, no birthday, no nothing. But the reading of the will, they will all be there. And you can tell, if any of you show up to the reading of the will after I'm gone, you can tell who are the ones who didn't send me anything for Father's Day. Okay, they'll be the ones not crying. They'll be the ones at the reading of the will, watching their Rolex, going, "I hope I can pay for this in about 3 hours because I just spent $25,000. I'm hoping I'm included in the will." They'll be the ones looking at their watch. Yeah, Gen X mom.
Mark Colliers Lewis over on Facebook says, "Hi from Wexford, Ireland."
Far out, man. I've never even heard of that. Wexford, Ireland.
And TJ Wrench has now become a monthly supporter on Rumble.
Do we even have monthly supporters on Rumble? I think we got
just
3.
did just now.
Oh, that's the first one?
I don't know if it's the first one.
Oh, that's what I'm asking you.
You need to check with
Josh Maddox.
There you go.
Josh Maddox is the Rumble overlord. He will have all the answers. I don't know. He'd have to put something in the sheets, or he'll have to jump over here into. He's also a moderator on YouTube. He can jump in here with his little blue wrench. The blue wrenches on YouTube are the ones that are moderators. The green names are people that are paid members. They're supporting my alcohol habit. And then if you're white or gray, that means you just showed up and you don't have any money and you don't like me that much. Well, we're trying to win you over tonight.
Turn your volume up.
I can't turn my volume up. That's it. I'll turn my volume up.
I don't know. I'm just saying that's what they're saying. I can hear him fine. Okay, somebody said they can hear him fine.
No shit. You know what? Here's the problem. One of you or two of you will say, you need to focus. You need to turn your volume up. There's 900 other people that are going, it's fine, it's fine. So, the moderators put it in there. Then I turn it up. Now there's 2 people that are happy and 900 going, what the fuck, man? Turn that shit down. You can't please everybody.
You want to post PayPal anytime soon?
Oh, wow. Look at you just being a dick right off the bat to me. Okay. So don't pin the message. It is up there. PayPal is up there. So the long intro. Yeah, it was a thing that got away from me. I took over doing the intro. I thought I would try to tackle that today. I knew I wanted to do some unique and fun things that only I am capable of. That's not true. Everybody can do. In fact, there's 9-year-olds that do. You see some of the editing they do on YouTube, and you find out they're kids. You're like, how did you even fucking do that shit? I mean, way beyond a learning curve I could never do. But I knew I wanted to do some improvements, and I wanted to take some things out and put some things in. I think some key moments in there And the really way too long 10-minute and 50-second intro that you didn't even get to see all of today was the addition of the Sun Valley Fox. The rat bastard decanter, non-filling decanter guy he is, even through the court order. It says so right there in the opening. I think that was important to include. I thought finally you guys should see Loud One, the bus driver, give a little glimpse of the monkey, Tasmanian monkey that's driving the bus. So we can move on from there. But I was going to include everybody. Iceman was going to be in there. I didn't get finished with all the staff. I got to put Josh in there for some stuff. So it's a work in progress. We'll narrow it down to get it to like 6 or 7 minutes. We'll figure out a way to do that. But I do apologize. By the time I got done adding all stuff and I was going to start shortening and not duplicate and unduplicate, and then I looked and I'm like, I got like 10 minutes left. I got to go. I got a show to do. We got to talk about stuff. And there I was with this big, long, fat, hairy intro. And there you guys got to see it. So now you know. Yeah, there is some stuff in there that's important about hitting the like button. It doesn't cost you guys anything. And I'm not asking you to subscribe. No. I'm not saying like, subscribe, and do the bell, and do the like, and do the follow, be a follower on. I'm not even asking you that stuff. Just saying, could you hit the like button or could you like the stream? It's all just little thing for the algorithm. How much does it take for your ass to, in between chewing the sandwich, to take the mouse and click, or on your phone, take your phone, click? How much? What does that cost you? Nothing. Nothing at all. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
You've got some splaining to do.
About what?
Because Sean Allpart over on Facebook Personal wants to know, do you really have 32 kids? Whenever you say that, you blow people's minds. I did not have 32 kids, people.
No. I said I raised 32 children. I said I raised, and there's a real mathematical algorithm that I use to get to that number. You have kids that you raise. So let's say just so you guys know, I'm on my third marriage. Third time's a charm. Okay. Big groups each time. There's a chunk. But in between that, there was this last set was foster kids. There was many foster kids that we raised for many years. I count influencing them for many. You're not a baby, like for like 6 months as a baby. Probably could count that, but don't, because I don't think there's a big influence there. But with the blended families for the marriages. Add to that all the foster kids and the adopted kids that my wife and I have, and then go back through that entire span of time. And how many of you either went to houses, you got mad at your parents, you went to a friend's house, you crashed out on their couch or something, maybe 13, 14, 15 on in there, and because you knew the family, you had your friends over there, you knew the mom and dad really well, they'd known you since you were 5 or 6, you kind of felt like they were your second set of parents. And a lot of times you would feel like those parents really helped you because you couldn't listen to your own parents. Everything they were saying might have been right, but you weren't hearing it. But you hear it from other sets of parents, and they like actually take that in, should do that, follow along. Okay, many times we were that other set of parents, where the kids would come here and they're friends of our daughters or friends of our sons, and we'd call the parents, say, your kids over here, or send them home or keep them for a day, and there was many days, many nights. A lot of times they stayed here and conversed. The girls came over for my daughters, they talked to my daughters and the sisters and my wife. If boys came over, I talked to them, with my sons and as the dad. And there was a lot of influence, because how do I know this? Well, because over the years, the kids come back and they say, thanks for being there. They would say, thanks for letting me come in. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for letting me live there for a few days or a few months. So there was a lot of influence that we had, especially in my situation, a lot of influence I had. And I narrowed it down one time I counted, out of all the kids, which ones really count to where you had some sort of an influence. And I wrote it down. I wrote it down one time years ago and tried to narrow it down. I go, there's 32 kids that I think I had a real definite, solid influence on. It's not a made up number. It's exactly where I think it should be. There was a lot more kids that came in and out of my life and stuff. I don't know that I did anything to impress them one way or the other, so I don't count them. But a lot of them come back and say stuff. Gen X Mom.
Becca Rowland wants to know, got a question. Does it matter if you hit the like button after the show is over?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think we've learned a lot in social media. My son, he's picked up so much stuff on that stuff, and he relays and he studies it. And we went to VidCon. We've gone to VidCon last year, and we learned, we sat in seminars and we talked to other creators, and we talked to people that were from Facebook, from YouTube, where you sit and go, hey, I got some real questions. You get real answers. And we know people at each platform now where we can call them and ask them specific things. We don't bother them. We have their phone numbers, and we don't, we're not on there every day. How come my video's not doing good, man? That's not what the kid does at all. We save we value those numbers, so we only use them when we have to. And we try to make good use of the information they do give us. But the like button, there's a lot of things that go. Views are a big one. Liking something is another big one. Their algorithms on all the platforms pick up on. That's a huge one. But commenting, when you comment on something, that's a big one. And here's the biggest one, is when we comment back. Yeah, we can go on all of your comments, like, heart, like, and that does do something. But when the algorithm watches, and when we interact with you guys, when we comment back, that's huge. So the more we do it, the better. But how do you do it on 5 platforms, and there's thousands of comments every day? But if you do try, and you do put, the algorithms pick that up. Plus, it brings you guys back to the platform. Now, follow me on this, because there's some sort of algorithm mathematical rating system. So you view and like a video or a post. On Facebook, there's a ton of those nostalgia posts. So you view it, you like it, and maybe you comment. And that builds the algorithm. But then if we like your comment and we write something back, it's another big ding to the algorithm. Like, whoa, they're writing back. If you come back to the platform, even just to read it, the algorithm knows you came back. Now, that particular video or that particular post has seen you view it, you comment, us like it, us comment, you come back, maybe you liked it, maybe you replied to the comment. That pushes the video or the graphic, the meme, the image, whatever the picture was, it pushes it out more. It gives people more of a draw, because the algorithm's like, wow, this particular video or this particular picture is huge interaction. So that is the heaviest end. Yes, the like button helps. Yes, the like button helps after the video. I'm sure but it's so minuscule that it's just the beginning, and then we have to come back and follow up with our stuff too, which is why staff Sammy Joe is really good about that. Sammy Joe will go in through a lot of Facebook. She will get rid of assholes and block them, and she will compliment or talk to other people. And it takes time. It really does take time. If you're doing something, it's pretty easy to do, but if you're busy, it's an inconvenience. So we don't know all the secrets to all the algorithms. I won't pretend to, but we've learned on all the platforms what some of the things are that promote things bigger, faster, longer, and better on the channels. That's one of them. Every interaction counts. And the more interaction in a row skyrockets. It brings your brownie points way up. So I hope that answers your question. Is there anything else in the sheets?
Yeah, I have some breaking news.
You have some breaking news. Go ahead.
Willie Mays passed away.
Willie Mays?
93. Yes, he is gone.
Wow.
It just happened. I'm like...
You just saw it.
Yeah.
Willie Mays. That actually bothers me a little bit.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of his baseball cards. I never got him to sign one. He did some events where he traveled around through Southern California doing signings, and I never got to go to one. I always wanted to. That's horrible. That's just... I know, this is going to be kind of dumb. You're going to have to bear with me for just 1 second, but my grandfather, I took him when I was in high school. He had a stroke and he couldn't drive, so I drove him all across the United States one time. And one of the places we went was to Marshalltown, Iowa. And he was talking to me this whole drive. We went and saw a bunch of stuff across the United States. Went through the Smoky Mountains, the Blue Ridge Highway, went to Gettysburg, and went to D.C. And I wheeled them around for days. And we ended up, one of the places we ended up on our way back was Marshalltown, Iowa, because the whole trip he'd been telling me about his relatives. And I know this guy and my cousin and then this and that, and I had a nephew. And he's telling me all these memories. There was in Marshalltown, Iowa, back in the day. I guess there was just one, maybe two bars in town, and so my grandfather's, so it'd been my great grandfather, was at this bar, and my great grandmother would tell the parrot. They had a pet parrot in the house. And she would say, I don't remember what my great-grandfather's name was, and call him Jack. And he says, she'd say, go get him, go get Jack and bring him home. And the parrot would fly from their house and fly through the town, right down Main Street, and fly into the bar. And there was a perch the parrot could sit on, and it would scream, Jack, gotta go home, Jack, time to go home. And then my great-grandfather would get his, God damn it, finish his beer. And then he'd get in his truck and Model T or whatever it was and drive home, and the parrot would sit on his shoulder during the drive. But that's how she didn't call down there. That's how they did it. So the way I'm building on this is that my grandfather, when we left Marshalltown, Iowa, all the people he had told me about were gone. Everybody had passed away. And when we got home, he was recalling movie stars and athletes that had passed away already. And this was in the mid to late 80s. And he was getting very upset because everybody in his world that he had grown up with, that he had seen in sports and on movies, and he had seen and heard on the radio, were leaving. And it just hit me when you just said that Willie Mays died. It hit me that how many people, Eddie Van Halen's gone. And there's so many people that were just in growing up. I just always assumed they're out there somewhere. I don't. They're all those people in movies and music. They're out there. They're doing something, and I don't know what they're doing every day. We don't talk every day, but there's an album, a movie, or a show, and they're not. They're not all out there, and that bothers me a little bit. Tried to bring that to the same story. My grandpa felt like he's never going back to Marshalltown, Iowa, because I'm not going back there again. Everybody's dead but one, and then it was slowly just his world got smaller, and everybody who was alive on the planet were strangers to him. He didn't know the baseball teams or the basketball teams. He didn't know all the politicians. He didn't know the actors, and he didn't know anybody. Everybody was gone. And I get that a little bit right now. It's happening a lot, and I get it. And I know it's dumb, but maybe a couple of you can relate to what I'm saying. Maybe it sticks home a little bit. Yeah, Gen X mom.
I think you should raise a glass to Willie Mays.
Raise a glass to Willie Mays.
Willie Mays Hayes. Just kidding.
Willie Mays Hayes was...
I know. It's from the movie.
From the movie.
But every time I say that, that's what I say.
I always want to say it, too. Willie Mays Hayes. Well, to Willie Mays and all of the ball players, actors, actresses, musicians from our era that went too early or went on time. I'm worried that I'm going to get a call one day Clint Eastwood is gone. And I just like it when everybody's still out there. I'll live my life in a direction, but God damn it, everybody needs to stay where they are. So Willie, this one's to you, buddy. I'm glad you made it to 93. I wish I would have had the chance to meet you. Maybe your kids. Maybe I'll get to meet one of your kids one day. This one's to him. All right. Sorry, got off on the nostalgia. Sorry about that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do some. Reese Buck on Facebook.
Yeah.
Kia Ora from Wellington, New Zealand. That's what they said. From New Zealand, they're watching.
Okay.
We have another monthly supporter on Rumble it's either Ma Vic or MAW Vic. I'm not sure.
Seriously, another Rumble person in there?
Yes. Sean MacArthur on Facebook. Here's 200 stars for the General and the Missus. Sorry I missed the last show. Someone close to me like a brother. I think that's when we found out he passed away. I'm here to share good news. So General, salute.
Thank you for that, Sean.
Mark Lewis says, what do you think of women that don't let their children dads see them?
Yeah, that's there's so much now that I'm older, when you're a kid and you're growing up, or even in your youth, it doesn't sink in. You don't pay attention as much. You're working all day and you're playing on the weekends until it hits home, until it gets to someone close to you, someone you know. But it is true. It's very lopsided in how men and women, dads and moms, are treated in the legal system when it comes to family law. And I always thought it was just men complaining until I saw some of it with that. And it's just like even go to the beginning. If a woman wants to have a baby, the man, he's going to have the baby too. If the woman says, I'm going to have this child and you are going to support this child forever, the man can't say yes or no. You're doing it. If the woman says, I'm not having the baby, the man can't say, yes, you are. I want to raise that child and you're going to raise it with me. The man can't say that. Once the baby's born, the woman can walk into court, at least in California. I'm assuming it's like this everywhere. In California, she can walk in and say, I have a baby. I don't have a job. And I can't support, and they give you welfare, they give you stuff. But if a man comes in and says, well, I don't have a job, they say, tough shit, get a job, pay support, or you're going to jail. And it's very tough. And then women can withhold. And the court systems doesn't say this. You cannot withhold, even if the dad doesn't pay child support, you can't withhold the bonding of a father and a child just because there's no support. They will tell you that. Women will try to hold the child back, give me the money, but legally you're not supposed to do that. You can't do that. He's like, well, take him to court if he's not paying, but you have to continue the bond on that. If women just here's one of the things I found funny, because when we did foster care for a long time, you're right there right along in family court judges, and you learn a lot about the family court issue, just being kind of side by side with some of the discussions that go on in the hallways and in the courtroom. I'll tell you one that was funny. A judge told me, I got to know a lot of the judges here in town and from where we lived before. And one of the judges was making a joke one time. We were having lunch, and he says, every time a woman gets divorced, every time, now literally not every time, but very close, he says they come into court and say, my ex is on drugs, he watches pornography, he sleeps with other women, he's violent. All these things come out. And then the next woman comes up and says, okay, you're getting divorced. This is your first thing. Yes, my husband sells drugs and he's violent and he's a criminal and he has sex with everybody. And then the next woman comes up and says, okay, it's your first thing. Yes, my husband is on drugs. Every time. And I didn't believe him at first when he was telling me that. He goes, sit through one of the family, just park yourself in the back for 2 hours and listen. And I couldn't believe how many women, out of 30 women that went through there, 19 or 20 of them had the same story. They just automatically turn on the husband. And the judge was funny. I'll tell you, for you women that have done this, you're thinking about doing it, pay attention to this. It was really an eye-opening experience for me. He goes, now watch what I do when those women say this. So this woman comes in and says, he's on drugs and he's abusive and he cheats on me and he's neglectful of the kids and he's not blah, 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 all these things that he does. And the judge says, well, did he just become those things? Oh, no, Your Honor. He's been that way for years. You need to put him in jail. He's been that way for 10 years. You need to go after him. You need to put him. And the judge leans in and says, so you left this drug-filled, drug-selling man who's abusive to you, neglectful of kids, you left him around your children? You stayed in this marriage with that big of a problem husband? What kind of mother are you? All of a sudden, Your Honor, hold on. Now, I was able to protect the kids from. Don't think that he's bad. I'm good. It was terrible, but it wasn't so terrible that I couldn't watch and what I'm saying is, I never saw so many of those women backtrack so fast. They come out with affidavits. They brought their sisters in. They brought their friends in. They're going to testify that their soon-to-be ex-husband is the drug kingpin of whatever small town they're in. Testify. I got witnesses to all the shit. And then the judge says, all right, let's find out how bad this guy is. And then you tell me why you allowed this bad person. Why didn't you divorce him 10 years ago? Well, I was trying to save I thought I could save him. I thought I could change. Well, then your judgment's bad. Why should I give you these kids? I'm telling you, I saw it happen. I watched in the courtroom as a conscientious objector. I was watching from afar. Unbelievable how this judge turned things around on these women. And I was unbelievable how many women. Now there's women that are in those situations and they're truthful. They're being truthful. It is a bad guy, and they did try to stick it out. But every one of them claims that, and it can't all be true. Not every guy is the drug kingpin. Not every guy is abusive. It's just not that. It's not even mathematically probable. But in the question of can you withhold the kids, that's one of the cards they play. And I will tell you from personal experience and as being an observer of this, and no one can do it. You can't do it. You cannot. What I'm going to tell you about divorce and kids, you can't do it. You're going to think you can, but you can't. I'm telling you right now, you're lying. Ready? Every man and woman in divorce manipulates the kids and plays the short game. They play the short game. I'm buying them more things. Yeah, well, I'm taking them to Disneyland. I'm letting them do what they want at my house. Well, I'm letting them do what they want at school and at my house and wherever they go. And they play the short game with the kids. They don't stay consistent. They manipulate. They lie to the kids. They change things. And all of a sudden, well, your mom this and your mom that. And you're painting the mother to be this horrible person. And that's just mom to them. They don't know any different. You're berating their mother over problems you have. Same thing with the dad. The mom's, well, your dad this and your dad that, and I never trusted him. He did. I'm going to tell you all the secrets of your dad. They play the short game. No one plays the long game, ever. No one ever says to their child, you know what, I don't want to talk about your mom. That's between me and her. Well, I heard this. Don't talk. Don't say that. Don't talk about your mother that way. Divorce is between me and her and nothing to do with you. No one ever stays that course for the long game. On the rare occasion they do, and I've seen it, on the rare occasion they do, the kids grow up and they turn to the one parent and go, you know what? You talked a lot of shit when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. But now that I'm grown up and I see what relationships are about, that was horrible of you. And then the lies don't work. Well, you don't understand. You were young and you don't get it. You don't understand. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. When they get older, you can't take back all the things you said. You can't take back all the ways you made them feel about the other person. You can't change it. Now you're stuck with it. And when they grow up, and they will, just like you grew up, they're going to grow up and look back and just shake their head and go, that was terrible what you did. And you can't lie then. You lie when they're little because they're little and they have to believe you. But they remember. And both parents do it. Dads do it to moms. Mom do it to dad. They play the short game. They get the little jabs in and they get the little stuff in right now. She looks bad. He looks bad. I did this good. They did that bad. They play the short game. But you play the long game, and I've seen a few do it. I have seen a few do it, and the relationship between the child and the parent, when the parent plays the long game and stays constant, the rules stay the same, they're supportive, they don't talk trash about the other parent, and not just for a week, they don't talk the whole fucking time. They stay that way for years, they stay constant. That's the parent that has an unbreakable bond with the child years later. And nothing can break it because they look at that parent and go, wow, you didn't lie to me. You put me first, and those kids bond with those parents, and it's like nothing you've ever seen. And I've seen it. I don't have to read a book. I'm not watching an after-school special on ABC. I have simply watched it happen. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that are all fucked up because every parent, they can't help it. They got to play the short game right fucking now. I've done that. I've done that. I've played the short game in conversations. But the parents who stuck to their guns and sucked it up and just listened and heard all the shit and didn't respond and stayed constant, they win. In such a way, they have a relationship you can't fucking buy. I got to that point, but not after stepping on my dick for many years. But I got to that point. Yeah. Constant. Played the long game. Stayed true. So when I tell you, dude, every one of you, I could do that. I don't talk to, well, okay. 97 out of 100 of you are fucking lying right now to yourself and me. 3 of you probably got it right. That's about the odds. But you got to be honest with yourself. And then if you put the kids first and everything, you won't open your mouth. It'll come natural. And guess what? If you start playing the long game, if you learn how to play it, after 3 or 4 or 5 months, it becomes second nature. You just do it. It's for the kids, and it works, and it becomes easier. And the other parent resents it. The other parent sees what you're doing, can hear through the grapevine, and gets pissed. Now you've accomplished 2 things. Your child is first and doing well, and you've pissed off your ex, which is what you wanted to do all along. Well, you're welcome, America. And Denmark, or Larry from Denmark. I'm going to pour myself another drink. You know why?
Said this has to be a talks a lot clip.
Talks a lot clip? Yeah, that's up to the kid. Hey, here's to all the parents who ended up divorced for one reason or another, not judging you on that part. But to all the parents who played the long game, put their kids first. There's some of you out there, and I respect every one of you who did that. This one's to you guys. All right, honey, what do we got?
Oh, you're coming back to me?
I'm sorry. I got off on a tangent.
I know.
You know, I got to thank you for something. I got to thank you. This is one of the first times where I've begun to really tell a story and get into some meaning where you don't interrupt me. You actually consciously sat back and let me go. I mean, thank you. That was really fulfilling for me.
You're welcome.
To not have to break stride and come back.
You're welcome. John Morgan gave $5. Don't have any kids that I know of, but can I count the little boy that taught pull my finger as helping raise a kid?
Yes, if you taught a kid pull my finger, you've done your part to contribute to society. Well done, sir.
Jack Armstrong on Facebook. Hey, General, just noticed you changed things behind you. He didn't change it. I did. Did you get the light up Tetris from Temu? My wife is obsessed with Tetris. No, we bought that years ago, and I can't remember where.
I don't remember. I would say Amazon or Temu. Yeah, but yeah, that's Temu's only fucked me a couple times when I bought some casters, some big neoprene casters, because I was going to put it on some carts and a couple toolbox. These fucking things were like, oh my God. And they were like $6 for 12 of them, like fucking buying those. And they came, these big, huge 4-inch neoprene casters, and they were all this big. Every one of them was about the size of a donetti.
Phil's Garage, $2. Hydrate, General.
I did. I took a drink.
John Morgan, $2. New house, Mama X hot tub fund.
Not sure how happy I am about John Morgan thinking of you in a hot tub. Not sure about that.
That was really nice. I never thought about that.
You know what other than the Sun Valley Fox, your brother, the whole world would be interested in? I think out of the 20 years we've had that hot tub here, I think I've seen you wear a bathing suit in it 3 times. You're just free flowing on that.
It's my house. My hot tub.
Fuck them. All right, just letting you guys know. So, yeah.
It's like a big, huge ass bathtub.
Yeah, so picture that while you're donating $2 for the hot tub fund. All right.
Do you have something to talk about tonight?
I do. I do. I had stuff. I had things. I had terrible, terrible things. I will tell you, you guys are going to pay attention to this. I won't tell you every boring detail. But I try to tell my wife, I said, if you want to buy a piece of land far away and you want to build on it and you want to sell it, I mean, buying a house, I think I've done it 5 times now. It's horrible. For those of you that have gone through it, unless you just write a check for cash and you're done, all the shit you go through with the agents and the underwriters, especially the underwriters, horrible. Haywood Nelson's wife, Blingy, Dwayne from What's That, his wife, Blingy, she's an underwriter. I tell her, I don't like you. You're an underwriter. I automatically don't like you no matter what, Blingy. I love you, but I don't like you. Underwriters are the worst. And if for those of you who know, sometimes that can just be hell on earth to where you go, fuck it, I don't even want the house anymore. And right about when you do that, they say, okay, you can have the house. You can have the loan. So I told her, I said, this is going to be, because building a house is 10 times harder and 10 times worse. I've only gone through that one time, and it was I've never heard of a good story where someone really enjoyed building a house, everything went smoothly. I'm sure it's out there, but I bet if I said raise your hand to someone who had a shitty time building something or even remodeling, it sucks ass. So I told her, I said, if you want to go down this road, we can. But it's not going to be easy. And she goes, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's figure it out. And we're trying to stay within our budget, what we can afford, which I know won't last forever, but we're trying. And so today we got a call from our bank, and they're like, hey, you got a $46,000 lien on your property. I was like, okay, I most certainly do not. Like, oh, yeah, you do here. And we went for a title, declare the title, and you can't do anything. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? So not to get in too deep, but we had bought solar panels, I don't know, 9 years ago. And we were paying on the solar panels, a part of the program with your property taxes where we live. You can just add it to that, and it goes through like a 1.5% interest, some ridiculously low government thing. But this is back when solar panels first started as being a thing where they knock on your door. And we're happy with the panels. We got really good panels. It does a good job. But somehow in one of the things with a bank loan that we got, the bank says, well, we can't loan you money against the property. You have solar panels, we'll have to pay off the solar panels, and then we can put the loan and you can do your stuff. We borrowed money for something, I guess, like 10 years ago or 9 years ago, and that was on there, the solar panels. So we took the loan, got the money, they paid off the solar panels, and away we went until today when it looks like they didn't actually pay them off. Oops. But we have paperwork saying that it was their responsibility and they deducted the amount of money that was owed at the time. So fuck you. And they're still in business. They're a lender that's still around. So but the bad part is this slows everything down to a halt on our end. So we're working through that. I have a couple ways around it that I can finagle stuff and move money around to get things going. But to move forward, what if the land that we're trying to buy, what if we take too long solving this problem? What if this problem goes to court? What if this problem takes a year? We'd lose that land. Or I can pay it again, solve all the problems, move forward with the land, and then go and say, all right, fuckers, now you got to pay me my $46,000 back that I've paid twice, and fuck you, and then go after him for that. You could do it, but you'd be $46,000 upside down while you're fighting it. This is just the beginning. We're only on week 3. I go, you got 2 years of this. You think it's guys? She was walking out of the studio today. She's exhausted because she was looking up all the paperwork. She's very organized. She knows where everything is, all the receipts, all the paperwork, all the bank statements. She's got them. She takes time to go through them. So when I set her, I said, well, I need these 3 things, and I'll go break one off on these guys' ass. She's like, okay. And then she went and got me the stuff, and we're down the road. But she knows that it's a time thing now, and it's, we'll eventually get where we're going. But as she walked out of the studio with all these papers, after, I want to say 3 hours of me working and her doing all this on the side, she's walking out. I said, it's not going to get a whole lot easier. And she looked back at me. This is your queen. And she looks back. She goes, what are you talking about? I go, this is how things are going. Now, maybe not at this magnitude of this much money for a lien that doesn't exist. We already know we'll get out of this one. But there's always something. There's always a thing. Another thing that was on there was we didn't pass code inspection 5 years ago on some patio thing we did, and we fixed it. And then code came out and said, okay, they inspected it and said you passed, but it didn't get filed. So the title company called it in and says, well, you got an undeveloped something. And I went, what are the fuck you talking about? I said, well, you got to go down and get them declared or come out and inspect it again. And when they can, we will. We've already got it done. We saved our paperwork. They signed off on it. But you just have to go through the motions. And I told her, I said, this is just the beginning. I warned you, this is what it's going to be like for 2 years. So if you don't want to do it, tell me now and I'll stop. So, it's going to be a little bit stressful for the next 2 years going through this because, as a lot of you know, when you do anything like this, shit comes up all the time. You just got to figure it out, solve it. That's why it's important to keep all your paperwork, keep your receipts, be on time with your stuff. So far they haven't come up with anything where I'm like, holy fucking shit, what's this? No, every one of it I can go, nah, wrong, false, try again. That's still a bad position to be in, but who knew? Anyway, so now you know what I know, and it just you'll hear tidbits as we go along, but we're moving along. Everything's moving forward. But there will be times when I'll be drinking before the show, before, during, and afterwards. All right, Gen X Mom, where you at?
Diane Reed gave 200 stars on Facebook, and Loud One said, I'm well aware how stuff goes sideways trying to close on property. Drink up and hydrate.
I'm going to have another drink right now. I have not yet relegated to drinking out of the bottle. I think when I hit wino status, bum status, like right behind the railroad yard when you get a hobo village, and I've been to a real hobo village before, in Texas and in Amarillo, Texas, and I think when I get to wino status, I'll just start drinking straight out of the bottle. I'm going to do that. But anyway, just talking about that mess from today makes me want to drink. All right, so we had some stuff. We had some things to talk about. Let's go to the drag and drop portion of the program. Are you folding your hands over there, wife? Are you mad or something?
No, I'm just sitting back listening to you.
You look cross, and I'm not sure if it's me because I'm really
hungry.
I'm hungry too. I'm hoping for a little love and little kisses tonight. I don't want to have you cross and me chasing you out the studio with you going, get away from me. Don't touch me. You fucked everything up. What did I do? I just think that's coming. I don't know. I always think that's coming.
Hey, our wonderful sister-in-law says the Sun Valley Fox is the $2 hoe.
The Sun Valley Fox is the $2 hoe.
She noticed her husband.
Or her husband, yeah. That's it's appropriately so. It's with inflation, he might be the $3.99 hoe, but that really doesn't flow off the tongue, doesn't it? With inflation, it costs it. All right, so where were we? The drag and drop portion of the program. We had some things to talk about. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, this one I wanted to call bullshit on it, and there's some people there are those of you in here that are resident Disney experts. I consider myself to be high up on that chain, but maybe not as good as you. So the drag and drop portion of the program, unprecedented turn of events at Disneyland Parks, Finding Nemo submarine voyage. What was funny was the title of this right before said, what do they call Disneyland employees? They call them something like
cast members.
Cast members, yeah. Disneyland cast member passes out. This is what the article says. Disneyland cast member passes out. Visitor has to pilot the submarine to safety. All right. Now, I get that this particular ride isn't computerized. Okay, I got that. I've been on this ride 100 times. I remember this ride back before it was Finding Nemo. All the submarines were gray, and we always tried to get in line and get the one called Seawolf. That's how far back my memory goes on this. However, they're still on a fucking track. Now, I don't know if there's a gas pedal and a brake. I also know they don't really go underwater. You see how they're sitting above water? That's how they stay the whole fucking time. When you go under the waterfall, everything's decorated to make it look like you're fully underwater, but you're not. You're never fully under. This thing doesn't go down. It just keeps the same level the whole fucking time. You're just in a cave. Okay. With that being said, this thing just pilots itself around, doesn't it? Unless if they make them go underwater now, you can tell me. This is not when I was a kid. And also, they didn't steer them. It's not like you had to navigate through waves and wait and you just went around on a fucking track like everybody else. I've never been on one of these things one time where it bumped into the wall because the captain up there, the Mickey Mouse cast member, was drunk or something. He was rubbing the sides of the coral reef. No. Not that at all. So you tell me what that meant when a guest had to pilot it back to safety. What the fuck does that even mean? I mean, what did he do? Call somebody? Is there a phone up there and say, hey, your boy just blacked out? Little pedal on the right?
How do I land this thing?
What's that?
How do I land this thing?
How do I land this thing? Do I just beach it up on the beach and we get a rescue crew? We call the Coast Guard? What do we do here? I'm just saying, this doesn't seem like that much of an emergency, other than I feel bad for the medical emergency on the cast member. I just don't want to buy the story where he said he had to pilot it to safety. What? That'd be like on the Autopia cars going, well, the Autopia cars, there was a big pileup and we had to get tow trucks out there and we had to race all these cars. No, they're on a fucking track. They have a steel thing. You drive punk.
Well, you can run into somebody.
But you're not going to have you can't have a pile up and they're just on one metal bar. You punk 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 all the way back. The same with these. What was the big risk that the one behind you would bump into you? Punk.
Yeah.
I mean,
then you got scolded.
Yeah. This isn't that ocean view thing that's going down to the Titanic. It's not like it's going to implode if it's down there too long. Right?
Yeah, they wanted to know if one of the submarines was named Titan.
Yeah, that's all right. So I'm just telling you right now, that was one that caught my attention. Didn't understand it. Call a little bit of bullshit on that. All right, what else was there? Yeah, I'm going out of order here, but there was some stupidness involved. This is a conversation that I actually had with Briggs, the kid, Gen Z kid. You know, he's doing the music shows at 10 o'clock on Mondays now in place of where the...
Members only.
Members only. If you're a member only on YouTube, he's doing these... he's doing the streams about music. He plays the music and you guys talk about it. He's really learning a good format. I love the way he's got it set up where you can see the songs. And he's listening to you guys. So if you guys want to talk about music, 10 o'clock in the morning, he's doing those. The audience is growing. He's really enjoying it. But this is a conversation we had about music from back in my time. And his question was, he found this picture. He goes, tell me this isn't true. And I said, well, I don't know that I can explain it. He goes, no, don't bother, Dad. I found like 11 more album covers from your generation. They're all the same. What the fuck, Dad? All right, here's what we're talking about. On the drag and drop portion of the program, he goes, what was with all these guys laying down on their album covers? Now, this one's just a pick of 4. He says he found 11 more like this. What? Why is this the thing? And I said, I don't know. I go, did you look back in the 60s and 70s? He goes, nobody was doing that. I go, did you look like in the 90s? He goes, nobody was doing that. This is just your generation where somebody said, we need to come up with an album cover. And it could be creative. It can be fantastic. It can have to do with the songs and build a story. He goes, and your generation lays down on one elbow and stares at the camera with, some of them have little chest hair going. He goes, what are you doing? Now that you're looking at this and there's like 15 of these albums, now it makes the kid says, now it makes me not want to listen to it. Because now I'm like turned off. Okay, never mind. I'm going to move on to something else. I don't know if I have an explanation. I couldn't come up with an explanation. If you guys have an explanation, I got to say I really didn't notice. This would be more of a chick thing. Maybe girls would notice how many guys were laying down on one elbow on an album cover. I got to be honest. In 1982 to 85, I don't think I noticed at all that everyone was doing that. I don't think I noticed anybody. I mean, I know Thriller, but it never occurred to me, hey, he's laying down on one elbow. I didn't think about it. Gen X Mom, does this ever come to your mind?
Nope, never even paid attention.
And what do you think about it now?
Nothing. Doesn't change my mind.
You don't even have an opinion on all the album covers like that. Way to contribute to the show tonight. Good job. All right. Well, we'll move on then.
Deanna the Moonwraith said it's the Burt Reynolds pose.
Oh, yeah, when he posed nude. Yeah, I remember that.
Efog says, dig the Briggs mixed tape session.
He's liking him, too, quite a bit. So this came up in an article. They listed, I'm going to say this was dads a little younger than me, but they listed like the top 10 cars that dads owned when they became dads. And they had big lists on why these were such popular cars. And they were so... You know what the number one car was? This is number 1 or number 2. Was this piece of shit. The Ford Aerostar. I never owned one, but you got to remember, I was a mechanic. This was when I was elbow deep in cars. And I'm telling you, there was almost not a worse car invented than this. There was, but not by much. This thing was a pile of shit. It was unreliable. It was difficult to work on. It had a spark plug we called the 200,000 mile spark plug because it was so hard to change. You just left it in there and said, fuck it, I am not changing that today. That's the 200,000 mile spark plug. This thing was, and this was listed by like dads who were, when they became dads in the, I guess in the 90s, these 84, 85, 86 Ford fucking Aerostars were like the thing that every dad, number 1 or number 2 on their list of the top 10 cars you wanted to own as a young dad in this era. I'm like, no one fucking wanted to own that. The only people
careful, there's people in here that have owned one.
I don't care. I'm telling you, from every point of view imaginable. From a mechanic's point of view, it's a fucking pile of shit. From visually, it's a fucking ugly car. It is not a space shuttle. It is just that's just the tip of a penis as far as I'm concerned. It's horrible. It was horrible in every way. And I can't even tell you how bad it was. That's how bad it was. I feel like I'm being disrespectful of cars in general, including this in the fact this wasn't a car. This was dropped off from some alien planet and it just spawned more babies and we got stuck with them until we learned how to exterminate them. Now they're all gone, thank God.
James Pearl goes, the Aerostar. Here in the Midwest, they rusted out faster than the car payments.
See? I'm telling you, that's an accurate story, man. This was number one on their list. You can't believe the pages of paragraphs I wrote back on. Are you out of your fucking mind? Only because I was there. I'm not Googling my answers. I'm not calling a friend and going, how was Aerostar back? What cars did you like back when you were a dad in the night? The people who owned these and thought they were great, they owned like AMC Eagles before that. They had like an all-wheel drive, fake wood panel, late 70s, early 80s Eagle Premier that was a fucking piece of shit. And when they got this, they thought they'd gone to heaven. That's how you get to be number one in this category, is when your previous car was a bigger pile of shit than this, which is hard to do. All right, so I'm getting off on a fucking rant again about this shit, but true story, or true as a story. All right, what else was there? Yeah, so there was another article about common things that kids today, Gen Z, will see that their parents have in their closet, they have in their garage, they have, in cupboards and things like, wow, this is a very common thing for a kid now to see and go, I don't get it. What is that? There was a bunch of them in there. Some of them were pretty good. They were toys. Some of them were board games you don't see anymore. Silly stuff. But this one got my attention. I brought this one for you guys. This one I saved just for the Bottom of the Glass Nation and the story that can go with it. Ready? On the drag and drop portion of the program, I give you this. Now, I'm not sure how many of these are still on display anymore, but back in my day, they had hundreds and hundreds in every living room. Now, maybe they're tucked away, but when kids today go digging through the archives and go, Dad, do we have a VCR? There's one out in the garage, and they go get it and they hook it up and they start looking at these grainy films. And somebody recorded the 1982 World Series, and someone recorded, your kid's graduation. You better be careful when you go through these tapes. I'm going to tell you right now, kids, this is a fair warning. All of you late millennials and Gen Zs, you shouldn't just be I know what they say. I know what they say on the outside of them. But I'm telling you from personal experience, you start crawling through my closet going through this, you're going to see a very young mom and dad on a waterbed with some 70s music playing in the background. Might not be what you think. Even though it says, Audrey's third birthday, that is not going to be what's on it. And tell me I'm wrong. Tell me there's everybody out there go, no, that's no, that's not at all. No, you. There's many a household that has 30 of these stuffed away someplace in a box, and one of them is not labeled correctly. I promise you. So kids, if you're going to go dig, and they put this thing on the internet to encourage kids to go play the board games of yesteryear, to go find the things in the photo albums of yesteryear, and the cameras and the things and the games and the toys. Oh, and when you find these old videotapes, get a VCR and go through them. See what the old days were.
Yeah, it'll show you what the old days were.
Not solid advice, in my opinion. Now, I don't speak for every household, but you just set a bunch of kids on a very dangerous trajectory. And I'm not wrong on this. I guarantee 90% of you are behind the camera, behind your TV going, oh, you fucking wrong about that. I better go fucking change the label on that. Or put a big fucking red X or pull it out of there. Because you left it in there. You did. Now, the women may not know which tape it is. The guarantee the husband does. He knows exactly which one it is. He knows exactly what it says. It says Audrey's third birthday. He knows that's the one. The wife goes, I know it's one of those, but I don't know which one. But the husband does. I'm just letting you know that was a nostalgia thing that I think was a little misguided. I'm not in charge of what goes out on the internet, as you might have noticed. Fair warning to all the kids out there. Don't fuck around with that shit. And stay out of your parents' closet. That's another one, too. All right, what else was there? The Aerostar, the Michael Jackson, and stuff. Come on, some more stuff. I'd be helpful if I labeled these things, they wouldn't have to open them and read them. That's a dumb one on there. How much time we got? I got a little time. I'm coming up on an hour, but I'm almost done there. Yeah, so this is another question that I had, not with Gen Z kid, not with Briggs, not with the kid, but with another daughter I had that we're talking about how confusing people look and dress today. And she had actually found pictures from the 80s and said, see, you guys had cross-dressers, you guys had and they were celebrities. And, you didn't know who was a man and who was a woman. And I'm like, okay, hold the phone. A lot different than what we're dealing with today in the drag and drop section of today's program. Let me drag and drop this for you. All right. So I think I got all the names right on here. It's been a minute, but that's Grace Slick in there, right? She's in the upper left. Okay. Grace Slick dressed that way and had some muscles and was very flat chested. So it looks like, a guy who's got, been working out. I knew that was a chick the whole fucking time. There was not, and I knew Prince, no matter how feminine he made his makeup, he was a guy. Annie Lennox got short hair and dressed like a guy. Knew it was a girl the whole fucking time. I gotta say, the first time I was introduced to Boy George, I was like, okay, is that a guy or a girl? Someone had to tell me, because I didn't know, especially if you listen to him sing. But once I knew, there was never any confusion, no matter what he did and dressed and how he did. There was never any confusion.
They said that's Grace Jones.
Grace Jones. Oh, yeah, Grace Slick was from Starship.
Yeah.
That's right, Grace Jones. I do apologize. And Grace Slick, I think, was she was Jefferson Starship. I think that's right. Anyway, I stand corrected. Thank you. But the idea was I wasn't confused on gender, although my daughter holds this picture up and goes, see, you guys you couldn't tell. I'm like, yeah, I could totally tell. And this is pretty representative of all of that generation. You could tell who was what. I mean, come on. Dennis Rodman for the Bulls dressed up in a wedding gown. Still knew it was Dennis Rodman. Got to be fair on that. Knew what was going on. All right. So what else was it? There was a couple of the dumb things in here. Doom, 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 doom. So in here, looking there. They were just talking about millennials and their expense. There was a picture, but it's dumb. There was talking about millennials and older millennials. They've conducted all these studies and they do polling on them all the time. And one of the things that they found, this is common because it's shown up, the same picture and the same topic has shown up for like the last 7 or 8 years. What millennials won't give up. No matter how hard they are, hard up for money, how tough the times are, okay? They will not give up their gym memberships and expensive car payments, no matter what. If it's the expensive car they want, I don't care if it's a Tesla or if it's a Maserati, whatever it's the car and the gym membership and the new every year you get a new cell phone. Every time a new cell phone comes out, you run out and you stand in line, you get a new cell phone. Those 3 things are in their top 5 every time of shit that they have to have. And they won't, no matter how bad life is, they will eat SpaghettiOs. But as long as they can keep those things. The picture was really dumb anyway. But just so you guys know, I wanted to argue with that so bad and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? But I didn't. I remained calm. I want to show you another picture that's gotten a lot of press for me. Let me go back to one last thing for the drag and drop portion of the program. And let me try to explain. I'm going to drink one more time. And I'm going to try to explain to you why this got such not backlash. Backlash is not the right word. Compliments, questions. I'm gonna drag and drop this one. Hold on. Now I showed you this picture before. This was a couple Saturdays ago. We went to the Hollywood show. Haywood Nelson asked us to go down there with celebrities and support him, which we did. And on the way back, this was just a picture that Gen X mom took. We backed into Tommy's because this is where we used to go in high school. This is one of our many places in high school we used to stop at. This is on San Fernando Road. McCambridge Park is right. It's towards the front of the truck. There's actually a little bit of a parking lot behind the kid right there and his girlfriend Addie, and that's Trippy Pineapple right there as on staff and in the red hat. And I posed this in a few different places, just like encapsulating. Here was the weekend, members only stuff, basically, and maybe it was on Discord or something too. But I got a lot of comments and I got a lot of emails and I got a lot of direct messages about, people were saying, "Wow, this really gives hope I went, gives hope to what? I asked, what are you talking about? Well, just the gathering around the old tailgate and have it. Well, Tommy's doesn't have a lot of tables and chairs at this establishment. Okay, you're either eating in your car or you're eating outside. It just was a nice day. This is what we used to do. But a lot of people took this as that. It's like, wow, just, a little bit of the history and nostalgia. Got a bunch of emails and go, this is what these are older people. Older than me. It's true. They're out there. There's some out there. Maybe not as old as the Sun Valley Fox. Probably not that old. I mean, I think that I would have said the Sun Valley Fox. My Sun Valley Fox, for those of you who don't know, is my wife's older brother. He's Sun Valley Fox. He's in part of the intro, if you saw the intro. Real person, real cool cat, but really fucking old, too. And, he would say, well, I went to that Tommy's, which is a lie. He didn't go to this Tommy's because they didn't have this Tommy's back when they were traveling around in Conestoga wagons. That's true. But a lot of people said, the older people had written me and said, we used to do this on road trips. We had picnics and we would pull up the station wagon on the side of the highway. We'd open up the back tailgate and we'd sit there and have our drinks and have our picnic and get back on the road. And I can't tell you how many people took time to tell me that there was a bunch of people that said, I used to do this kind of stuff too. 70s and 80s and early 90s, high school time. Did the same thing you guys are doing. That's great. You guys did it at the exact spot where you were kids, which we were. A lot of people older said we did this on family drives. And then there was a bunch of people that said, you shouldn't have included this picture. It's stupid. Nobody wants to see you eating a fucking chili dog. I did take a picture of my middle finger and I sent it back to each one of them. I could have done two. I only thought it was worth one, but they got it because it's a stupid comment to make. You shouldn't have included that picture. It's fucking dumb. All right. I just thought I'd let you guys know that one silly picture that was just kind of at the tail end of the day. That wasn't the point of the day or the story. I just added it as one more piece of content. Got such a bunch of mixed reactions from people. So I don't know which side of the fence you guys land on. I'm sure most people in here watching on Rumble and Facebook and YouTube, you guys would think it's fucking cool. It's even cooler that we were at a place that's still there since high school. That's kind of cool too. My wife and I went there as teenagers, and now we have our teenage son there with his girlfriend. Kind of a full circle type of thing. I get that, but man, just there was a bunch of negative shit about it from people that are a little bit fucked up in the head, as far as I'm concerned. All right, so we're about done there. Once you get caught up on the sheets, is there anything to say? We're going to say happy birthday, Sammy Joe, again.
There's not much here except Leonard on Facebook wants to know, Gen X Dad, what's your profession? You're looking at it. Okay.
My profession is to do as little as possible in life if I can get away with it. I used to be a mechanic. I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert, just a basic general automotive guy. Did some European stuff for the past 3 or 4 years right before we closed up the shop. Now we collect a little bit of rent from a small place we got, and we do some of the stuff with the kid, and he gives me like $50 every time I do something for him, so that helps out. And that's it. That's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, all the donations that I didn't get tonight, thank you guys. You guys could have given me like $5 or something for the whiskey fund. I'm almost out. You see that? I'm almost out. And you guys know the Sun Valley Fox is never filling that decanter, so we can just let that go. It's never going to happen. He's never going to fill it. So you know what? There used to be a time when you guys would give me $2 and $3 for the whiskey fund or $1.50 for the Singapore hooker fund. Remember those days? Remember those days when you guys cared about my well-being? Well, all right, fuck it. I get you. I understand. All right.
Paul Coleman on Facebook. First live. Love and follow the vids. Piedmont, South Carolina.
Far out, man. Thanks for showing up.
Colleen Stevens on Facebook. Say, I'm over here for the first time. Sir, I love your videos. Your son does. I literally agree with everything you have said. Big fan. Colleen on Facebook.
Thank you, Colleen, very much.
Rod over on Facebook. I would love to hear your take on the Fulton County DA and Judge sham court proceedings. Any thoughts?
No, I'm not going to, but there was something that came across the wire today. Donald Trump, he appealed. He had an appeal in, I think it was in federal court, highest court in New York, and they said about the gag order. He went in there and said, the gag order wasn't fair for me. It wasn't fair that they didn't have a gag order, but I did. He went through this whole big thing. Hold on. I wasn't going to bring this up. I screenshot. I want to read you what the reply was. They denied Trump's appeal. Hold on. And here's why. Screenshot. There it is. Okay. The appeal is dismissed without costs by the court upon the ground that no substantial constitutional question is directly involved. He appealed the gag order, and they said, well, there's no constitutional question directly involved. So the First Amendment about freedom of speech, that's irrelevant. That's not calling anything constitutional into question. What the fuck are you talking about? That's all this appeal was about. Was the freedom to speak. That's all it was about. No, the liberal court said, no, I don't see anything. Not even a constitutional question was raised here in the appeal. I don't even know what you're talking about. You dumb, dirty, lying motherfuckers at the federal level in New York. Yes, Gen X mom.
Houdini has a bone to pick with you.
Great. What now?
Oh my God, that's just a pint, and I gave you a fifth of JD Bonded, which is over by the door.
How does he know where it's at?
He probably put it there.
Because he was here.
He was here.
Houdini was in studio. See? Yes, I'm working my way towards that one. Relax.
Tim Mitchell, 1999, for the booze fund, sir.
There we go. Thank you. Finally, someone loves me. Loves me right to my face and openly. Wants me to keep... He's keeping me properly lubricated. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a true story. All right, I'm going to drink this last one to you guys right now. Thank you guys for showing up to the Bottom of Glass Nation. Thank you for putting up with the way too long, stupid, sucks-ass intro. We'll get to more of that later. Scott's in there. What did he say?
$5. Here's your $5 for your whiskey fund, Mr. Handsome General.
There we go. Scott looking out for me. Scott's got my back all the time. He may have to stuff the $5 bill in my pocket and smack me in the back of the head so I pay attention, but he's there. Thank you guys for tuning in, Bottom of the Glass Nation. Thank you for wandering across the screen. I don't know where you're listening in from around the planet. AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you're listening in on the Armed Service Radio Network. This drink's for you guys. Thank you. No chaser, no training wheels. Remember two things. One, wherever you go, well, there you are. And two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. That's right. I said it.